There we go. Now we're live. What are you guys doing hanging out in the waiting room? At least we're not late today, Adrianna.
Oh, no, right on time. It's exactly 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. Good
Nice to
morning,
see
everyone.
everybody. I think they're excited to see you.
Oh, I'm so excited.
It says we have 28 people that were hanging out ready to go right as we started. Wonderful to have all of you with us today.
Is the Facebook working? Is the Facebook working?
It is. It is. Yes. Well, it's not because I'm unbanned. It's because I'm clever and I created a new StreamYard account and linked it to a different account.
Mm-hmm.
I found a way around the ban because I'm stubborn and clever.
Yes, because you're a gangster.
Yes. Nobody can tell me what to do or what not to do.
Oh, I see some people I know.
This, and I did. Haha.
Yes, I see some. Oh, hi, Amanda. I see some people on Facebook. Yes.
Yes, probably a lot of people you recognize. Chandrika's here. Hi, sweetie. Nice to see you. Hello,
yes.
everybody. Good morning. Loving the blue, ladies. Yes, we're wearing Solatian blue today.
Yes.
Honoring our Solatian friends who really love the color baby blue, don't they?
Yes. Yes.
White and gold and baby blue.
Yeah, that's all. That's all.
Pretty much the entire color of the Solatian. I can't even say it. Solatian civilization.
Yes. Even their spaceships are white and gold.
I mean, that sounds very fancy.
Yes.
I saw flashbacks of it as you were telling me stories about being on the ship. I could see it in my mind's eye. It was a beautiful ship.
Yes, they make beautiful stuff. It's all about beauty because surrounding yourself by beautiful stuff is high vibrational. So the architecture, everything is very beautiful.
I heard an interview last night. Somebody said, why do they keep bombing all the beautiful places? There's so many things that, you know what I mean, we're trying to protect that is ancient and it's beautiful, and they just keep destroying stuff. And that was the main, I mean, I was very frustrated with that too for a long time until I asked the guides why they do that. And it's because they're trying to lower the vibration. Beautiful things are high vibrational.
Yeah. Like, you know, when you go to a beautiful place like Louvre or, you know, those old beautiful places, Old World, it makes you happy. You see so much beauty and, you know, the beautiful art, everything is very high vibrational.
Yep. So it does make you wonder. That's what they're doing. They're changing the whole planet, making stuff as ugly as they can. That explains modern architecture anyway, because modern architecture really bugs me.
Oh, no kidding. Like, don't start me on that.
Good morning, everyone. So nice to see you all.
Good morning. Hello, Jessica.
I'm just burning some sage and Palo Santo so we can keep clear of the riffraff today.
Hi, Jennifer. Jennifer is here.
Hello. Good morning. I was going to say, there's a lot of people you probably recognize. You've been getting to know the community rather intricately through their Akashic records, haven't you?
Yes. That's so true.
Yes. Bradley's also here. Good morning, brother. Nice to see you.
Oh, hello, Bradley.
I had a big chat about me, you, and Bradley yesterday.
Oh.
Adrianna didn't get a chance to watch the podcast, so she has no idea what I talked about. I was a bit surprised that she got 20 bookings, though. She's like, were you talking about me again? Yes, I'm sorry. I was just explaining a little bit about our interesting history that we have. That we only found out about probably about a year and a half ago, give or take.
Yes. It was November.
Yeah. It was 11/11, actually. They saved it for a special date. Yes. That we found out.
And Zach says to me that he wants to talk to you and Bradley. And I didn't realize it was, like he said a few days ago, right? Like a few days before 11/11. And I didn't even realize it was 11/11. But what he said is like a new beginning. 11:11 is new beginning, right? Like
Yes.
1111 is new beginning.
Always
So
been
it's,
a day for me for that reason. Yes, always new starts on that day.
so it was new beginning for all of us.
It certainly was. And it's funny how you can start a new beginning by learning old stories about yourself, by remembering who you are.
Yes, yes. And everything makes sense because you can kind of remember, you have feelings about something, and but you don't know what to do with that, and you think you just crazy because like for example, I saw the Star Wars when I was very young, the first time that the Star Wars show up, the old one, I mean the very first one. And I watched it and I didn't like it. And I didn't watch any more. I didn't watch any Star Wars after that. I just couldn't. I hated it. And then, and everybody raving about it, and everybody is so like, wow, you should watch it. I'm like, I can't. I don't know. I hate it. I hate it.
Triggering about it.
And then I find out, and all my memories came when I was ready, of course, for that, from the Orion War, and that was exactly what kind of like the Star Wars showing it. And now I know why I don't like it, and because I have major trauma. I have a big trauma from Orion War, many horrible memories, and so of course I don't want to go back there and relive that. Nobody wants that.
But you've still been doing that for me, so we could write this book together.
Yeah, and you've seen I've been bawling my eyes out.
We do have to take breaks for all of us. We'll be going through the records, and it's one thing to be reading, because how you do an Akashic Records reading, the soul guides bring you a book, don't they? They bring you like an astral book, and the one that you can read through yourself. And as you're reading through the book, you'll get visuals, you'll get flashbacks, basically.
Yeah. So I may explain how I see Akashic Records. So basically, I am reading Akashic Records a little bit differently than most people, because I'm asking, if I'm reading for somebody personal, I am basically connecting to their spirit guides. And they always, like, I'm sitting right here on Zoom, and the spirit guides are always on my left because Zach is always on my right, my spirit guide. So they come here and I can feel the energy. I can see them. I know how they look like, who they are, how many, and so they know what is the best for this particular person sitting on the front of me. And if I would just go to Akashic Records by myself, and I'll just, let's say it's a book. It's not a book, but let's say it's a book, and I just open the book randomly, I will maybe see something really irrelevant, not interested, like some life that somebody was, I call it potato farmer. And you die, you live, nothing really happened. It was all good. In general, it was all fine. But we don't want to do that. I don't want to waste the precious time I have with this person on the front of me to look at those lives. So I'm asking the guides to show me the most important lives. And they guided me through Akashic Records to see what is the most important life for them to know at this moment. Maybe next year they will decide to show you more, because like you've been here for over 12,000 years, so you have thousands and thousands of lives. So how much I can do in 1 hour? Not much. I can see 2, maybe 3 lives, right? Maybe 4 if I really stretch it. But so they guiding me through the Akashic Records, and they will show the person what is important for them to know. And I'm relying on them to show me what is the most important. If I'm reading the Akashic Records like we're doing for the book, there is a special being that coming and kind of opening this whole thing. And it's not really like a book, because I can see Akashic Records like a movie. For me, it's like a movie. And there was a funny story because when I started doing that, I didn't know how to do it. And Zach told me, just do it. And I'm like, how am I supposed to do it?
Just
And
do
then
it already.
like, you figure it out. You figure it out. I'm like, great. So, I had people coming, like your friends coming, and I learned reading the Akashic records for guinea pigs, as I call it. And then I figured it out. And after like maybe a month after, Zach was like, you need to watch the movie Lucy. Remember the movie Lucy?
One of my favorites. I have it.
Yes.
I own it.
And I'm like, and then he's like, you need to watch the movie Lucy. I'm like, what is this all about? I watched the movie long.
Your guides, your galactic guides know about certain movies that you've never even heard of. So they're watching movies that you don't know about.
And I'm like, I've seen the movie like ages ago and I forgot about it. And he's like, you need to watch Lucy. And I'm like, why? So I did. I paid money for it, on Prime. I watched the movie, nothing. I'm like, I don't know why you want me to watch it, but nothing at all. And then when we start reading Akashic records for the book, and we have to go all the way to the beginning, I did this with my hand because it's like a movie. And I was like, whew. And that's what she was doing when she was, and that's how I see Akashic records. I see like a movie that I need to move, like I need to go to the beginning of the movie, or I can do this. I can do this, go to the beginning or details or something. That's what they wanted me to understand. Of course, my human mind, it didn't register anything.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, it just clicked. It's like, this is what I'm seeing Akashic records. Like it's like a movie and I need to fast forward. I need to go back. And that's what it is. So, I'm like,
cool. Honestly, I would never leave my house if I had that gift. I would just be sitting there because I'm obsessed with history. I love to study history and I love to notice patterns in history, and I love to look into different timelines where different histories occurred, because this also makes it confusing, doesn't it? When you have multiple timelines where different histories occurred. So I don't think I would ever do anything else if I had your gift. I would just be sitting there reviewing history and be like, well, that was wrong. Oh, no, well, that didn't happen. And so
yeah, I just don't have time for that. I just don't have time for that.
Not anymore. Not because
as you know, I'm doing readings, during the day, and then every evening we sit down and we're doing clearings 7 days a week. We are doing clearings. We're sitting down every evening after dinner and we're doing clearings. So I honestly do not have time to do that.
Yes. Amanda says, I didn't understand the ending of Lucy. Just out of curiosity, what do you think about the ending? I always considered that she became Source. She became one with Source again.
Yes, she was, exactly.
She said, I'm everywhere, right? So she is
exactly.
Source.
Yes. She's everywhere. She is Source. Mm-hmm.
So she recognized, she remembered, basically reconnected with Source and became Source again.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm. I love how she just disappeared. Like
yeah.
Mm-hmm. And that reminds me of how people ascend, because somebody else mentioned Stargate a little bit ago, and I don't know if you've seen the episode where Daniel Jackson ascends, where he becomes a light being.
Well, I don't remember. I'm rewatching right now. I'm on season 2.
Oh, I'm sorry. Spoiler alert.
Oh gosh, there's like, I don't know.
Way later.
I don't know how many seasons is there, but I'm just on season 2. Beginning of season 2. I'm watching like 15 minutes daily when I'm eating my dinner.
Yes. So yeah, I'll never get bored of this work. Like going into the Akashic records, chasing beasties. Like we do a little bit of everything with the work that we do, don't we? When we sit down to work in the evening, we never really know what we're going to expect.
No.
So we just go into our list of clients and then we think, well, okay, some of them want to have a regular clearing, which we do every day. We just clear people as well. We clear entities and curses and spells and contracts and all of that stuff that goes along with it. But we do have a lot of people who book what we call is a full detailed session, which is half clearing and then half Akashic records reading. So they can ask certain questions. So for a full detailed, we generally tend to ask, what is your life purpose? Why are you here? What is your highest vulnerability? How are entities basically getting in, and any advice from the client's particular soul guides. And then people can ask 3 regular questions about their Akashic records or about themselves or about their soul guides and things like that. And we do leave it up to the discretion of the guides whether or not they're going to answer those questions. But generally, when people come to you for an Akashic record session, it's very similar questions that people ask because they just want to know who their soul guides are. That is one of the most common questions we have, isn't it?
Yes, and actually, even if the person come without any questions, because questions are always good, but if sometimes people just don't know what to ask, and that's fine. I rely on the soul guides to give me the answers. So basically, I ask if you are Starseed or you Starseed veteran or you are an Earth soul, and I look in 3 places. I look in Earth Akashic records for that. I look in Galactic Akashic records for that, and I'm asking the guides because I want to be very, very sure that the information is correct. And then the next question that is tied to the first question is the purpose for this incarnation. And the guides explain, and I can see in Akashic records, sometimes we have to go to the Galactic Akashic records, sometimes, like for a veteran, we always have to go, what's happened? How did you end up here? Because there is always a large trauma attached to it.
Mm-hmm.
Usually there is abandonment issues, confusion, because they don't understand, what's happened to them. And you, for example, you are a Pleiadian, you're minding your business on this planet, and then you get killed, and then you have to start incarnating as a human. That's very confusing and traumatic experience.
I would say that's almost like going from, let's say, like being a senior in high school to being in first grade again.
Yes, exactly. And of course,
You're surrounded by first graders. Yes.
So of course, I'm recording the sessions for everybody because there is so much information coming through that nobody can remember. And I always suggest to listening to that recording even a month later, because every time you listen to the recording, new things will come out that you didn't hear the first time. It's just so much information coming through. It's overwhelming for some people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially the ones that didn't plan to come here. They just wanted to come and help. They were bringing supplies. They were just checking things out. And then they get killed here rather traumatically.
Yes.
And, the galaxy, I should say the universe itself has had, as you mentioned before, a lot of turmoil, a lot of trauma from the Orion Wars. And that has kind of subsided a bit for most races, right? Since the reptilians got stuck here on Earth, it's been pretty peaceful for most everybody else, except here on Earth, because our Earth is kind of like the Iraq of the universe. There's always some kind of war or something going on here because they're people pilfering for resources, or they're, this is like I hate to say it, but like a galactic refugee camp.
Yes.
How Earth basically was set up.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And the interesting part is that because I'm a new starseed, and everything, as Zach explained all the time, everything is frequencies and vibrations and frequencies, and we are drawn to specific vibrations and frequencies. I would say 80% of my clients are starseeds or starseed veterans, because they drawn to me based on vibrations and frequencies. I have people coming to a session and telling me I saw your Facebook page and I just started growing my Facebook page in January. So it's very small. I'm trying. I'm doing the best I can.
You're doing amazing. I love your posts.
So anyway, they are coming. They just saw my face basically on Facebook, and they like, I was so drawn to you, and because it's a new starseed or a starseed veteran, and their guides will basically show them the information because they need to know who they are at this point. They need to stand in their power to understand why they're here, because most of the starseed and starseed veterans, they are lost here, same like I was lost as a
So
new
if you could
starseed. I
explain
was
a little bit though, for some people who are new, because we do have quite a few new followers, a veteran is somebody who is not a new starseed. This is not somebody who is just recently come to Earth to assist with the 5D shift. These are galactic souls, souls that have a very long soul history on other planets who got stuck here on Earth for a very long time. So you have a mix between the Earth seeds, who are the souls that have evolved their consciousness for a long time here on Earth, mostly having Earth experiences. Then you have new star seeds that have recently come here from other worlds, many of which are in pods too. They didn't even technically die in that other body. They just rerouted their consciousness to come here. And then you also have the veterans in the middle. So Adrianna is technically a new starseed. You've only had a handful of lives here on Earth.
As new starseeds have research lives or practice lives, as we call them, because Earth is a very different place, a very difficult place. We have to try first if we really want to come here for the full incarnation. So basically most of the galactic races it's mandatory to try it first. So it's like, okay, you want to go, but you need to try it first. So those research lives are usually short, up to maximum 25 years old. They are for research purposes only. You come in, you do your research, you get out, and you think about it, and it's okay, do I want to go there again? Okay, let's try again. And you try usually between 2 and 6 research lives. Everybody knows if you won't be here during the shift for the full incarnation or you are not.
And those research lives, they're not very long. They're usually childhood, teenage, early 20s that you'll die.
Yes, mostly you die in teenage years because that's enough. That's enough research. You have like a plan what you want to research. You research that, and you choose the way you want to exit, and you exit. Of course, not everything is happening like we plan, because this planet is unpredictable. Humans are unpredictable. Yes. And there's free will, dark entities. So, for example, talking from my own experience, I was in the medieval time, I was hanged as 9 years old because I stole a piece of bread. I was an orphan, I was starving. That was my research life. And I was hanged, and I had major trauma from that. I actually had a hypnosis session because I had a phobia. I had terrible phobia.
Like wearing necklaces and things.
I don't wear any necklaces ever. So I have this healed because, as you can see, I can talk about it. But I had like eczema on my neck for a couple of years. I didn't know what to do about it. And it was injustice. And when I experienced injustice in my life, this thing show up on my neck. It was like a red spots, and it was like, what the heck is this? So I went to the doctors, I went to many places, and potions and lotions, and nothing was helping. And finally I went for a hypnosis, and immediately after the hypnosis I saw what was happening. I observed that the practitioner was a very, very experienced one, so she knew how to deal with that. And after the session, I was fine. My neck was perfectly fine. And yeah, I went, basically, I was walking to my car from her office, and my neck started getting better and better and better. And I went to my car and my neck was fine. So there is a lot of trauma. It could be a lot of trauma from those lives. So and people don't
So
know.
many lives too of starseeds. One of the most common things we find is starvation and poverty.
Yes, because
Because they don't understand Earth in that regard.
so it's all about research, but not always. You will, like, we will not choose to experience this kind of trauma, but humans, Earth is a very difficult place, and things are happening. So yes, new star seeds have research lives, and after few research lives, they can decide if they want to be here for the full incarnation. And also those lives are short because we have to be very careful not to get on the wheel of karma. So you don't get married, you don't have any children in those lives. You come in, you do your research, you get out. And then you decide if you want to be here or not. And I had some spirit guides that I spoke, and they said they had two research lives and they didn't like it. And they says, I am going to support my friend as a human here, but I don't want to be here. This is crazy place. I don't want anything to do with this. So if you are a star seed, like a new star seed, and you here, you are a rock star because you had probably very horrible research lives and you still here. So so that's
Like, send me in, coach. I got this.
yeah. So you are very brave, and
wow.
Please remember that.
I love that. Thank you for adding that in there because we do see a lot of people that are struggling here as star seeds and they're hanging on and their guides are hanging on too. I'll often say, do they have any imposters? And they're like, no, their guides are hanging on barely, but they're still hanging on.
Yeah, they look beat up and all.
The guides are more beat up than the person sometimes because they're taking the brunt of the attack. So we're very grateful for all of our galactic guides because we realize it's not easy even just to be a soul guide. It's hard to be a star seed, but it's not easy to be a guide of a star seed, especially.
Yes, of course, because sometimes they joking about it, but I remember Sue guides. They are Andromedans. Sue, she's coming on the podcast.
Yes, I convinced Sue to come on the podcast Thursday. Yes,
yeah. And I remember her guides are Andromedans, and I don't know what the conversation was all about, and I think maybe she asked if they have hair or not because there is two different Andromedans.
Yes, there's the ones that
races. Some races Andromedans have hair and some don't. Her guides have beautiful, long, lush, black hair.
Like our beloved Lord Shiva. Look at how luscious he is.
And I remember I don't know exactly what we were talking about, but they says they are sometimes so frustrating, they pulling their hair out. So they says that's why we look like we are bald.
Why some Andromedans are bald? You humans made us pull our hair out.
Yeah. They're so frustrated with us.
But they're so patient and so loving and so kind as well. Yes. So they can get frustrated, but they're still like,
oh. Yeah,
I do. They have such a great sense of humor. All the guys,
all the galactics.
Every night when I'm hanging out with Adrianna doing clearings with Zach, I'm cracking jokes and we're having a laugh. Like Zach is hilarious. So they keep it fun and high vibrational, even though we're dealing with some pretty heavy shit with our clearings, aren't we?
Yeah, I think you have to because it's we can see such a horrible things that you have to kind of be positive and crack jokes if you can, because the work is just so difficult and horrible.
I mean, we see everything, don't we? We see everything you can imagine and things you can't even imagine when we're doing clearings.
Yes. Oh, yes. Sometimes I don't want to see. I just leave. So
she's like, I'll take a nap or go to hang out with somebody else. I'll go hang out with Metatron or something.
Yes. He's my friend. We hang out together a lot.
So, just to go into a little bit of this backstory, a little bit about Adrianna, because you have been going through quite a roller coaster over the last year and a half since you found out that you're a starseed and that you've been connecting with your guides and learning about not only your galactic history, but about galactic history of people close to you. And it turns out pretty much everybody you know now, you knew at another time, didn't you?
Yes.
So people come back to reconnect with each other. And so even though we don't remember each other consciously, often we do find each other, don't we?
Yes. It's again, everything is vibrations and frequencies. And when you start doing your podcast, so many people were drawn to you. And I know this from the sessions because I always ask, how did you find me? And they like, oh, through Lara Star, because when I saw her, from Dolores page and this and that, I just connected to her. And then I find out during Akashic record that they were somewhere on the base, being an Urma lion people or Pleiadian or something, and we met a lot of Andromedans because they were the warriors, right? And we used to see them a lot. We used to hang out with them a little bit during our travels, and we'll bring the refugees to them and things like that. So we know Lord Shiva. And we've seen him, right? And I have the memories of that now because all my memories came back. Like I remember everything. I remember when I was one cell organism. I remember every single of my lives now. Yes.
What? You never told me that. You can remember being a single-celled organism?
Yes, I do.
What were you?
Somewhere on one of the planets, not Earth, definitely.
I remember I asked Zach, I said, Zach, what's your favorite bipedal life? And he's like, bunny rabbit. I was like, space bunnies? He goes, yeah, they're space bunnies. They look different, but yeah, there's a planet.
They're so cute. They are so cute.
Like space bunnies? Like the little, yeah.
I think most the galactic soul choose the bunnies and the other animals because they are so cute and they have great life. They have no predators. Nothing eats them like on Earth. So it's all good.
There you go. So there's other lives that you can go and experience you don't have to be bipedal humanoid. You could be other life forms.
Yeah, you can, you choose one you think you want to be. So, and then you graduate to be more and more complicating bodies and more complicated mind. And that's how it's like going basically like if you look at human life as a baby, then you're going through a kindergarten and middle school and high school and so on, right? That's basically the soul journey. Yeah. So yes, my life changed a lot.
We got a lot of people curious in the comments about Lord Shiva.
Well, the way I remember,
he's incarnate now, right? So this is what happens with a lot of deities: is that you have a living form. We found out about Bridget as an example, right? Because we were curious about connecting with these different gods. Because occasionally a deity will come in during a clearing, and we're like, "Whoa!" Like Lord Krishna has come in. Lord Shiva's come in, Lord Ganesha has come in. We've got Yeshua comes into our clearings on occasion. And we also have all sorts of different archangels that come in. And so what happens is you usually end up, you start with a living, breathing person, right? Usually that's how it starts. And then it ends up creating a legend around that person or a belief structure around that person. And then it ends up creating a thought version of that person too. So you have the original. So to try and simplify this, Lord Shiva was an Andromedan warrior. He was a very high-ranking, very powerful galactic warrior. And then he did end up dying at some point, because I mean, we all do. We all have to, change bodies at some point. And he's still discarnate. So he's working as more like a soul guide form now, yes?
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So with the deities that exist here on Earth, is that connected to the original version of them, or is that created a whole new persona that exists? I'm just curious, because as you said the other day, we were curious about Bridget, because Bridget is one of the main deities for the Viking people. And we found out that she was originally Angan, and that she came to Earth as a warrior, and she was a very powerful warrior during the Orion Wars and all of this. But then, you know, this created a legend around her that people still worship to this day. So that worship creates an entity in the astral, a benevolent one, based on the belief, right? So I'm just curious how that works.
So they connecting to that, the original soul is connecting to that version.
So they're like okay. So the one that's created through the collective unconscious is linked to the original. So that means, do they have abilities then? Are they able to do a lot of what people believe they can do? Even as a discarnate, for example?
Not that much, no.
Okay, I didn't think
so. Unless you call the real one.
Okay.
The original one. Like because we are dealing with the real Lord Shiva, right?
Yes.
But if somebody just see a statue and they praying to that statue, that's very different.
Okay. So I'm just curious where the line, because it seems like a very blurry line between the two, between worship and believing in an entity that will actually come.
Yes.
So we do notice this. We've seen this before, where people would be praying to Lord Ganesha, for example, and yet we go in to do a clearing on them and we find Lord Ganesha.
Because they have genuine love and feelings to the Ganesha, right? And then he hear that he can react, because the energy is very pure. Is they not calling him to do anything horrible to other people or something like that, right?
Yeah,
they calling him of love. They love him so much. They really believe in him. They connecting so strongly to that deity. Then they can definitely come and react with them.
Interesting. So they do have an ability to come and help if we need them to. Like, for example, if we're dealing with reptilians, for example, because I constantly call Lord Shiva. If I'm dealing with reptilians, I'm like, oh, Lord Shiva, I'm going to get him. Like, because they run too. They get nervous when they hear certain names be dropped.
Yeah.
I don't even have to call him in. Sometimes just saying the name, they're like, oh, shit, and they run away.
Yeah, because he's very powerful. When he's coming, all bells are ringing.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I'm very careful about when I name drop them too. I'll use like a nickname for them instead. So it's very interesting how this all works, because if you think, humans really struggle with understanding how collective consciousness works and how belief as a collective will create all kinds of things in the astral, isn't it? This is part of the reason why we're in this artificial quarantine right now.
Yes, exactly.
So somebody said, our deities helpers from source. Well, technically everything is from source.
Yes, we are all source.
So even Lord Shiva is another version of me, technically, because I'm source.
Yes, we all split from source. It's just different in different time. So some souls are more mature than others because they split billions of years ago. And some souls are already angelics because that's the soul evolution. And some already starting their journey right now, today. So I wrote a post about that.
Yes. And I'm just curious, with the true deities that exist, most of them don't actually want to be worshipped.
No.
The false ones do. And the ones created through the religious paradigms, of course. But this is one of the ways we can spot an authentic guide coming in, an authentic deity coming in, because they don't expect to be worshipped. They understand that we are all equals and that we all come from source.
Yes, absolutely.
So they don't ask for favors. They don't ask for you to do things to honor them. I mean, it's one thing you can honor them and send love to them, and they appreciate that, but they don't have a demand for that. They don't say like, "Bring me a sacrifice." Like that's all. Like that's all stuff that gets made up by humans and mixed in with all of that dogma. Yes.
Yes. No, that was all about control and religion and things like that. We know this from like early, like when human took over Egypt, because as we know, Egypt was on the beginning was run by extraterrestrials, but then they have to go and humans took over, and then they of course they wanted to control others. They want the gold, they want the money, and they start having temples and they start having all this nonsense, and you have to worship them, you have to give them money, you have to bring them food. Yes. You don't need to do that. You can do it on your own in your own home. You don't have to go to a specific place to honor anybody.
And they just love us anyway. Like they don't expect anything from us.
Yes, of course.
I mean, it's important to be respectful to them.
Yes, and loving, like you love them, you respect them, you ask them for help, and they will return the favor. But they don't need anything from you. Like, no. That's how we find out about imposter guides, because imposter guides always asking for something. You need to do this, you need to do that. No. If the guy is from the highest of light, they will never ask you to do anything. It's like you have free will. You do whatever you want. I can suggest something. Maybe, I will ask, push you to the right direction where you need to go, because that's the spirit guide's role. But I will not tell you what to do. No.
Thank you for that, because we have a lot of confusion for people that, they connect with the powerful being and they expect that they are going to have to do something for that being. And usually it's the other way around.
Oh, yeah, exactly. That's like, I keep telling people during sessions, your spirit guides don't want anything from you. They are here to love and support you. They know this is a very difficult planet, and they want to help you. So whatever decision you make, they will help you in that decision. They will support you. If it's a bad decision, they try to, to do something about it, to tell you this is not the best thing. They will block it. They will do something so you don't get yourself in trouble. Don't get yourself on the wheel of karma or things like that. But they don't want anything from you. And the same with, Lord Shiva or anything. They don't want anything from you. They have everything they need.
Yes. What's another way to spot an imposter soul guide?
Their energy is off. Like if you connect to your guides and they're just very, very loving. They just loving. They don't want anything from you. Their energy is very calming. Very supportive. That's very positive. But if the energy is chaotic, the energy is weird, they're pushing you to do certain things, they're telling you nonsense, no, that's not your guide. And of course, when your life is become very difficult, like like basically bad luck all over the place, everywhere you do it's not good, like you struggling, everything's falling apart in your life, then probably you have imposters, because they want you to suffer. And then when you turn to them asking for help, they're like, oh no, you have to do this and this and that. Oh no, this is not your guide. This is not your guide.
Yes. Somebody just asked a question. They heard from someone else that Yeshua never wanted to be worshipped. I've actually heard the same, that Yeshua never wanted to be worshipped, from Yeshua himself. Actually, we're in clearings with Carolyn, and that was true. He never wanted to be worshipped.
Yeah, he was a teacher. He wanted you to learn and empower yourself. All his teaching is all empowerment.
Yes.
Remember who you are. Do this, do that. That's what he was teaching. His teachings are beautiful. But of course, it got distorted.
I think it's one thing to honor and love that person, but worship is different. That's when you basically like expect them to be the savior of everything, but you have to be your own savior. You have to basically, this is what one of the most important things about soul evolution is, really standing in your own power rather than as Yeshua himself taught, like you can you can teach a man to fish and feed him for a lifetime.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
So that's why he was a teacher. He was teaching people to be self-empowered, how to love each other, how to heal their past. When he was saying turn the other cheek, he's teaching you how to deal with karma so you don't carry baggage.
Yes, and don't make it more.
So, I feel that one of the most important lessons for us as humans is really just recognizing who we are, because we are source, but we have been disempowered to the extreme to expect somebody to come and do everything for us.
Yes,
but right now that's changing.
That's by design. As you look for religion, I grew up in Catholic religion. I didn't ever connect with that whatsoever. Like, as a new starseed, actually, I have a program downloaded to stay away from religion, politics, because that's very heavy karmic problem. So a lot of starseeds actually have this program downloaded to be very careful about this. So I never.
Nope, stay away from me, religion. You won't work on me.
So till I was a teenager, of course, I have to go to the church, and so I know all about it. I went through First Communion and all this nonsense. And if somebody wants to do that,
that's what a lot of the veterans are doing. I had to go through the whole religious upbringing because there was a lot of karma for me to work out as a Cathar, as a Templar, as somebody who's burned as a witch, and all these horrible things that happened to me because of religious persecution. I almost had to go through a mini version of abuse and all of that so that I would have it fresh in my mind to work on it.
Yeah.
So that is something a lot of veterans are also working to heal, is that religious persecution wound.
Yes. But I remember being in the church and seeing people, going on their knees and banging their chest as I'm guilty of this. I'm like, what is this? This is horrible. What are you people doing?
Modern day self-flagellation.
And I was a child and I look at them like, this is horrible. What are you doing? Like this, and they want people to be powerless and listen. It's all about control and power. So, people used to connect with that, but now people are getting smarter and more people want to know more. Why I have to go on the knees, why I have to do this. I don't feel like it. And the most important is to understand who you really are, that you are powerful being, powerful consciousness, that having this human experience at this time. And next time, maybe you will be having totally different experience. Maybe you will be back, you were as a Pleiadian or Urma or something like that. If you are very advanced Earth soul, you will be able to leave this planet too after the shift, and you will have choices to become a Pleiadian, or there is 400,000 races in this galaxy. So I'm just saying Pleiadian because this is the most known by social media.
We are very common.
But there is so many different races. So anyway, they will have a choice to do that too. So it's very sad for me to see people thinking so little of themselves. It makes me very, very sad. And especially in sessions, the person comes and they all beat up, they all sad. And then I'm seeing this powerful starseed. As you can see, I'm getting emotional. I'm sorry, but I just have really problems.
No, I understand completely. It's very frustrating to see people who so selflessly decided to come here. They left such a beautiful place full of love. Their whole soul family is there. And then they come to Earth and they want to help. They just come here to help. They want to be of service to others. And that is, in my opinion, the most beautiful, the highest calling that one can have. And then upon getting here, they're attacked.
Yes. And they get beat up so badly, then they forget who they are, and it's just hard to build them back. It's very hard to build them back. But some of them do. Some of them become very powerful souls. And sometimes we have few sessions. We have few sessions to work on that, to remember who they are, to remember, going back to galactic history, so they can start remembering, they can start connecting to that. And it's like, I am not this tiny little human I've been told. I am not this tiny little human I've been abused all my life. And I am more than that. I am a powerful galactic being. And I am not going to think so little of myself, because we've been conditioned and taught since childhood that we are nothing. I remember being in maybe 9 years old and going to church, and there is a Ash Wednesday. There is in my culture, there is Ash Wednesday, when you go to the church and they take a ash and they make a cross on your forehead, and they basically say, you came from nothing and you go and you are nothing and you turn to nothing, something like that. You came from the ash, you're gonna turn to dust, or something like that. I don't remember. And I remember doing this as a 9-year-old, and I'm thinking, this is BS. Yes. And I was like, I got angry. Because
that's how I was with hearing about Noah's Ark. I'm like, you expect me to believe this?
Well, I knew that because, I had the program that prevent me to believe in that. And I still remember who I was. So I'm like, this is BS. I am not accepting this nonsense. Like, no. So, and then I remember thinking about it. And then, of course, I start my awakening shortly after that. And, and I was on the search, who I am, what I'm supposed to do here, and all this. So.
Yeah. And what a ride it's been, huh?
Oh, my goodness.
Like waking up from amnesia.
Yes, exactly.
What it feels like for me.
Yes.
Snapping out of it and being like, oh my God, that's what I was doing. That's right. I remember now. Because it's one of the things I've noticed when I'm hanging out with Adrianna and we happen to go into my record for whatever reason it is, and you're telling me, usually it's because I have a triggered resonance. This is how we tend to find it the most. Is I'll just be feeling off and I'll be like, can you do a full tune-up on me? And I'll ask Zach, I'll say, Zach, can you just check and see if I have anything that's been triggered? And he'll be like, yeah, you have a resonance triggered. And my first thing that I like to do, I'm like, ooh, okay, let me see if I can figure out which one it is. And I'll be like, was it Zoran? Is it Margaret? Like, I'm trying to figure out which version of me gets triggered. He'll be like, no, it's a new one. And I'll say, okay, well, can you explain a little bit about it? And he'll or you will both be like, you'll tell me the basics of it, like a short story form. But as you're telling me this, I start getting downloads. I start having visuals. I start seeing my other self. And I almost feel like I am far more connected with my past self. Like, it's like I create a bridge, even though it's triggered anyway. So if it's triggered, there is a cord from one version of you to that other version of you. So you are already connected. But I feel more myself afterward. It's like, it's hard to explain. Like, I remember more of who I am. And that really helps me big time to understand myself and to go through things that I'm working to heal. But just adding context to a situation can change everything.
Yes, because you found another puzzle piece. Yes. And you put it back in your puzzle. And it makes sense. It's like, oh, that's why I feel like this. Oh, now I can heal that. Now I know where it came from.
So how do you, this can be a very challenging thing to navigate, right? Because, for example, let's say that you have a client that comes to you and you notice that client has a triggered witch wound.
Oh, yeah.
And then the client says, well, how is this witch wound still affecting me today? And then you look into the Akashic records and you see that her current husband, who they're not getting along with right now, was her accuser. This is the reason, he's the reason that she was killed as a witch.
Yes.
So,
and his mother was actually
yeah, and you find out your mother-in-law that you don't get along with was a big part of that too, and she was one of your accusers, and it all starts to make sense. But you also look at the people differently in your life. You know, and it's hard to discern when it's a good thing to tell somebody or when it's not going to be a good thing. So generally, I save that for when people ask, if they say, well, I would like to know more about this.
Yes.
Or if there is more to add that I don't know if I should say, I'll be like, how about you book an Akashic record session? I'll put that in the suggestions. Like, there's some context here that might serve you well. And if you ask the right questions, you might get those answers.
Yes. And I rely on the guides. I have just recently, I had a few sessions like that I've seen something horrible in Akashic records. And I'm like, I'm not sure if I should say that. Like,
it's hard, right?
And then I'm like, I don't know what I should do about that. And I just ask the guides, the person guides. I'm like, should I say that, or this is up to you at this point, because you know the person, you know where they are with their understanding about all this awakening they're going through. So I'm just like, I am not opening my mouth if I don't get permission talking about this particular thing.
It's almost like giving them spoilers. If they didn't ask, I'm very apprehensive about giving that information, because I don't want, like you could look at your husband tomorrow and be like, oh, I'm divorcing you because what you saw in your report. And then that falls back on us. So I think this is the most challenging thing about being a facilitator, really.
Yeah.
Is knowing when to speak up and when not to speak up, because some information can be detrimental to people who aren't ready to hear that yet.
Yes.
And some can be liberating.
Yeah. And sometimes the guides will say, no, they're not ready for that.
Yeah. They say that quite often, actually.
So we cannot say everything, but if they say they're not ready, then maybe they will be ready next year. And the guides will lead them to the right information, right direction to get those information.
Yes. So go ahead.
Is there any question about our galactic history or anything? I don't know what people would like to discuss today.
Yeah, we're just kind of winging it, hanging out today. I was going to see if you wanted to call in Zach soon. We could do the clearing for everybody.
Yes, of course. We can do that.
If you guys have any questions about Starseed races, some people were asking about Arcturians a little bit.
Yeah, Arcturians are the most advanced, one of the most advanced races. They live 10,000 years. They don't really have specific male or female form. They have female or male vibrations, but they don't procreate like humans or other races. And they are very, very advanced. They are healers, and they are
a clone of themselves. I read that through Gosha. Is that true?
Yeah. Like I just recently had a person that was Arcturian Starseed, just I believe yesterday, and it had Arcturian guides, and they explained to this person a little bit because they were two male, like the energy was male. And I was kind of surprised because they usually come male and female, but they were both more male energy. And they said that they explained to the person who they are, and he is a starseed, he's in a pod, and it's all about basically remembering who you really are. You're such an advanced soul, and you need to do this here. That's basically, all reminding them what's going on. And they says they have like a pouch inside them, like inside their abdominal area, because they don't eat, they don't sleep. They very, very advanced, right?
Nice.
So they basically, when their body is getting old, because it's a physical form, so if it's anything physical, is going to get worn out. And so when it's like around 10,000 years, the body is getting a little bit old. So they make a new suit inside themselves, and they reroute the consciousness to their new body. That's all.
Well, it sounds a lot nicer than what we've got. Not having to eat or sleep. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
I
get
still
out
don't like
there.
I still don't like eating or sleeping. No thanks.
And
It's waste
Arcturians
of
are the
time.
ones who usually come in to do a lot of healing work. They're the main ones we call in for psychic surgery because they're the best at it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
And if we do find some weird tech or anything like that, we call them in because they're so wonderful with technology.
Mm-hmm.
We're so
Yes.
grateful for our Arcturian friends and our Andromedan friends and all the others that come and help us, our Irma friends.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Somebody also asked an interesting question. Where did it go? Metatron. There it is. Somebody's wondering about Metatron. There's a lot of rumors and nonsense going around on the internet about it being a fallen angel. There's a lot of people trying to spread fear and disinformation like they always do. So do you mind just explaining a little bit about who Metatron is and how you know him?
Yes. So actually, you can explain. You are better in explaining things.
Well, Zach has explained this to me so many times because I've asked Zach quite a few questions about this. So maybe
You can explain.
save
You
that
are much
Zach
better.
question.
I'm gonna loop myself in and all this nonsense. So
Okay, I'll save that for Zach in a minute. So Zach and I can chat about that because the Solatians work very closely with angelics, don't they?
yes, yes. And
soul evolution happens, as you mentioned. You remember even being a single-celled organism going through these different past lives. And as you work your way up, you get more and more complex bodies, right? And you're learning more skills. And these bodies will be more advanced in lots of different ways, whether it's healing or telepathy, astral projection or soul projection, as they often call it. There's so many gifts that you can unlock as you kind of work your way up in those vibrations. Yeah. So after a while, eventually you work your way up through more and more galactic bodies. These are some of the more advanced bodies that exist here in the physical dimensions. But after a while, after you've mastered physicality, really, this often happens as an Arcturian or a Solatian. Yes?
yes, exactly.
So that's your last incarnation as a physical being. What happens after that?
You go to non-physical realm. So you don't need physical body. There's some realms that I've seen in Akashic records, some planets, when the beings can be physical or not. They can have physical form when they need it, but they can also be non-physical. And then you can also choose to be angelic, like angel guide. But also this is levels. There's level one, level
the angels,
two,
you have the lower, and they'll have different jobs, different roles.
Absolutely. Yes.
Like some of their roles we learned the other day is crossing animals over, helping animals to cross over to the light, or helping humans cross over to the light, or delivering little miracles to help people get out of bad situations. So when you pray to source, God, whatever you want to call it, an angelic is usually the one that hears and comes in to help. Yes?
Yes, exactly. They're like you choose your job. Like if you love animals, for example, all your life you were so close to animals, you may want to choose be an angel that cross over the animals or take care of them on the other side. And if you want to help humans, you can help humans or other beings or something of that sort.
And there's different evolutionary branches to get to these angelic realms, isn't there? Like we've noticed, I learned this through when we crossed over Marie Antoinette, that there was an elemental ascension line where you can go through the lines of soul evolution as an elemental, and then you have some human incarnations, and then as an elemental side, you can even ascend to the realms of light that way.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes.
That's fascinating to me. So then you also get like galactic angelics. We talk about the Hydrogen being the ascended form of Arcturians.
Yes, exactly.
So you have certain branches, and we've talked about this before. I'll get Zach to elaborate a little bit more on this about the different roles that angelics can have, and it creates a certain pathway that they take, right? So it's like a line of ascension.
Yes.
Okay. So learning more about these beings, somebody else wanted to know about blue avians. Isn't blue avians also an extremely high vibrational, extremely advanced form? Like they were advanced even while the Orion Wars were kicking off.
Oh yeah,
Long
very ancient race. They were not really involved, in the fight, but they were involved different ways in Orion War. But they are very ancient and very advanced race. We don't know a lot about them because we don't have a lot of star seeds here to learn from. But sometimes they show up as a guide, to help with certain tasks or the mission that the starseed have. But yes, there's many races we don't know a lot about.
We found some the other day. There was a very interesting family that we were doing healing on, and the two children were star seeds, and they were having a bit of a struggle here on Earth because of certain things in their life plan. But then when we went in and checked, and I said, well, what kind of star seeds are they? And Zach says, oh, you've never heard of these ones. Mm-hmm. And I was like, how many more have I not heard of? He goes, oh, thousands. There's thousands of different races that you might not have ever heard of. But they have the main groups. We do have about 10, I would say, different galactic races that tend to come here the most. Yes. And then you do get thousands of others, but just very small amounts of them. Very few of them come in.
And the thing is that we see them coming now as children because the vibrations are finally high enough on this planet to hold their vibration for them. Like, some starseeds came, 50 years ago, or even more. And they were like just, Nordic Pleiadians, vegans, just regular starseeds.
Right.
And the other ones that we don't know much about, they are very advanced, like the blue avians. And the vibrations were not suitable for them to come here. The vibrations were too low. So now the vibrations are rising. So finally, the environment is okay for them to come. So we getting more and more advanced starseeds from other races. They've never been here before, but they want to come and help during the shift. And it will be very interesting in like 20 years to do Akashic records on them and who they are. But I think they will remember that. They are so advanced that they may remember who they are.
Yes. Wonderful. All right. Well, we've been chatting a little over an hour now. Shall we bring in our wonderful friend, Zach?
Yes. He's very excited.
Well, wonderful. Thank you, Adrianna. We will see you when you get back.
Yes, I'll see you later.
All right. Take your time. I'll chat with these guys in the meantime. Zach has a lot of passwords that he has to do to get in, so it's going to take a few minutes. Adrianna is very careful about who she channels. She is not channeling anyone that she does not trust and know very, very well. I know there's a couple more questions about Metatron. We'll get to that in a minute when Zach is here. And we'll do the clearing first. Somebody asked who invented the reptilians. We'll go into that later. Someone said, when using salt for cleansing, can we use Himalayan? Himalayan salt is heavily processed. I guess it depends on where you get it, but for the most part, the best salt to use is Celtic salt and Mediterranean sea salt. Mediterranean and Celtic. You can use Himalayan, but it's not as high vibrational because of the processing it has to go through. The more processed, the lower the vibration. That is with everything. Jessica says, will it clear everyone in my house like my kids? If you ask for that, yes. They don't do a full clearing, for the record. They don't clear the implants and the curses and the spells and the contracts and all that, but they will come and collect all the entities. If you give them consent, they will come to your house and collect all the beasties. So if there's a beastie listening, you better run, because we're going to get you in a minute, especially if you're a Lizzie. Last chance to run. You've been warned.
Hello, Lara.
Hi, Zach.
And hello to all the viewers.
Thank you for joining us today. It's wonderful to speak with you, as
Yes.
always.
The pleasure is all mine.
Zach, are you of the highest of light and serving the highest good of all?
Yes.
Are you of the highest of light and serving the highest good of all?
Yes.
Are you of the highest of light and serving the highest good of all?
Yes.
Thank you very much. We appreciate you, Zach.
Yes, of course.
We've got 400 people hanging out with us today.
That's wonderful.
They're always very excited to hear from you, to hear what you've been up to.
I think we're having internet problem.
Can we ask you to clear the line for us? Can we have our team help clear any technology blockages or anything strange?
Yes, it's just too much energy.
Yes, I imagine so. Thank you. I have been feeling we've got a lot of visitors watching today.
Oh, yes. Metatron is here too.
Metatron is here. Wonderful. Hello, Metatron.
Yes, he likes to be present.
There's quite a few sources of misinformation in our time about Metatron. So if you don't mind, Zach, can you explain a little bit about who he is?
Yes, if you think about Archangel Michael, he is equal to Archangel Michael, but he is just different branch. Those angels, he is an angel, as human will call Archangel Michael, but Archangel Michael and his people, all the angels that are well known to humans, like Gabriel and others, they are created by source. They not created by the evolution. They created by source. They are like his right hand, let's say. And their job is to help humans. And there's another branch, like Metatron and other his people, created to help planets. Because a planet is a consciousness. Like Gaia is a soul, the same as you are, but is having experience right now as a planet. So Metatron is specifically, his job, I should say, is to help the planets and the whole planet, including the people, animals, everybody on it. So if there is problem with a planet, then Metatron is the one and his people to go and help. So it's just different job. That's all. He is not helping humans, individual humans. He is not created for this job. Yes, he can do that, but that's because this is not his specialty. It's better to call an Archangel Michael or Gabriel or so many other lovely angels that
That's more their role, yes, is to help
their
humans.
job is to help humans, and they're very good at that. So why would you call Metatron, who is not really good at this? Better call somebody who knows this, who knows what they're doing, right? So he's very invested in this shift because it's planetary shift. So he is very close, he's watching, he's helping. And because Avanon, which is Adrianna,
Alternate self.
yes, it's hard to explain that to humans.
I did explain it yesterday a bit. That
Yes.
it is her other body that has rerouted the consciousness to this current body.
Yes, they are. Avanon, it's Metatron is his boss. Let's put it this way. So Avanon knows Metatron very well. So of course he is here to also check on Adrianna because he is invested in this project, because this is a project. Earth is going through a big change, and him and his people are invested in this and helping as much as they can.
Yes. So just out of curiosity, and since Metatron is with us today, and thank you for joining us, Metatron, can you ask him how losing a planet such as Tiamat can change things with other planets, can have an effect on the universe, on the collective? Because that was quite for lack of a better word, a disaster. And I'm just curious, was that a part of a plan, or was that something that just happened and now we're kind of trying to fix it?
No, there was no plan. The war itself, it wasn't planned. It just happened. Okay. And nobody was suspecting how far it will go, how much damage would be done. Nobody knew about that. But again, not everything is planned.
Yes.
Especially when you have unpredictable species like the reptilians invading the whole galaxy. So it was a horrific experience, rippled all over this galaxy and even other universes. And they have to do a lot of damage control to stabilize other planets, because other planets were not stable during the explosion. It was like a ripple. When you throw a pebble in the lake, you can see the ripples, right? That's what it was. And other planets start having problems. So their job was to stabilize all the other planets.
I see. So people really struggle with that whole concept. Somebody even asked, like, who even created the reptilians? But this was the same beings that created everything. The same beings that created all physical matter, really, are the same ones that created them, right? Because that was kind of their role, was to create life in many different forms and then seed that life on planets, right? That was the original plan.
Yes, they are gone. They were created by Source, and they were like the first physical beings, and their job was to create more life, but not like human things create life. They were creating in a lab genetically. They were extremely, extremely intelligent, of course, beyond human understanding. And they create all different species. And they had different planets and even different universes that they were creating different beings, different life forms. And then they were seeding planets with, that's how they created the bunnies.
Yes. Those space bunnies. Yes.
Very cute.
All life was created, though, all physical matter, right? Because everything was originally light beings. They had form, where they were kind of formless, weren't they?
Yes, of course. First, they created the planets, then they created the life on the planets, they positioned them when they're supposed to be, and they were creating different species. And on one of the planets, they were creating, as an experiment, they were creating reptilians. As you know, on Earth is a lot of different reptilians, right? Different sizes and bigger and smaller. So they were creating this particular race, and that basically they didn't know what to expect, and they were kind of gone for a long time from that planet. And when they came back, there was already so many of them, and they were very aggressive. They were actually eating each other, and they didn't know what to do with that, and they left. So they left them for themselves. But the planet was beautiful and was lush, and there was a lot of food for them. So they just thought it's okay. They just
To their
wanna
own
live
device.
on it. And because they were so advanced beings, they didn't really understand time. They came back, let's say 10,000 years later, when everything was already fully developed, and they were very aggressive species. They already have hierarchy. They already had established basically life on this planet. They took over, and they created communities and everything. So, but it was just an experiment.
I see. An experiment that went a little haywire.
Yes.
Experiment that tried to take over the galaxy.
And I guess they didn't know what to do with that, and they said, well, I guess it's okay. We'll leave them here. Maybe they eat each other, and nothing will be left. But
They're still doing the same thing. They haven't changed much in a million years or so.
no,
They haven't evolved much.
it's just the genetics. They were experimenting with different species, and sometimes takes a long time to get the right body, the human form, let's say, was experimented on it too. So it takes time sometimes to get what you want.
I was going to say, I think they got sloppy. I think we aren't even supposed to have the feet that we have. So don't get me started on how we've been designed, Zach. I need to talk to the manager.
As you know, humans were designed to be food for reptilians. So
yes.
so they didn't care much about the details.
No, they didn't. Just to clarify, the clearing is happening as we speak now, Zach, yes?
Yes, of course.
I can tell your teams are already at work. In fact, somebody just came in to work on me. Thank you very much for that. My whole crown started tingling as you were explaining that. It was a little distracting. But thank you. Thank you very much for the healing. I appreciate it.
Yes.
So when it comes to this complicated galactic history, we've been trying to make sense of it for quite some time now. But it does kind of make it even more confusing when you start to learn about other timelines, because other timelines are quite numerous, right? There could be infinite timelines. And so we're constantly shifting between different timelines. And so one of the most common questions I ask Zach, almost ad nauseum, is, are we in the good timeline today, Zach? Are we still shifting between timelines? Are we, kind of anchored into a positive timeline right now? Or are things kind of more malleable?
This is the positive timeline.
Okay.
A while ago, few weeks ago, we were very, very close to the very, very negative timeline. And even that negative timeline was bleeding to this timeline. And that's why, as you recall, I was gone a lot. I had meetings with many galactic beings because there's many, many races invested in this shift because they have so many starseeds here. And we really had to work hard to push that other timeline away from Earth. And Metatron was the one that helped the most because they are capable of those things, and his people, I should say. So this is still positive timeline. It's not rainbows and unicorns because that's not supposed to be.
That's not how we change things, by having comfort.
No. Yes, there will be difficulties. There will be a big bumps on the road, but that's how humanity is awakening. As you can see, the governments of different countries are getting more and more ridiculous. It's by design, so people can see what is really going on. As you can see, more corruption with Catholic Church is being exposed for years already. So people can awaken to that and see this is all corruption, this is control. This is how humans awaken. They need to see this and look at this, exposing the latest, the files, how many humans awaken because of that.
Yeah.
So everything, the more light coming to this planet, the more darkness will be exposed. And of course, the darkness is fighting.
Amongst each other. It's almost like they're cannibalizing each other right now. As you mentioned before, they were eating each other before. Now they seem to be doing it again.
Yes, because that's survival. And it will get worse. That's why I'm always telling everybody, and I think Adrianna telling people in sessions, stay away from the negative news. You need to know what's going on. Yes, you need to know what's going on in your country and things like that. It's good to know, being informed, but don't sit on the front of the social media or TV and watch every single horrible scene because it's going to lower your vibration. Stay in high vibration, create your own reality. Because humans, that's how you get into 5D, is based on your vibrations and frequencies. As you know, Laura, you've been told during your Taigetan visit, if you were focusing and obsessed about 9/11, and what did they tell you?
Just, if you want a new world order, keep focusing on it.
Exactly.
And I was like, no, I don't want that. That's why I'm talking about it all the time. I'm trying to prevent it. But that's not how it works, is it? You can prevent something by talking about better solutions, not by focusing on the problem.
As you and most of the people watching this podcast right now, you know, when there's something horrible happening on this planet and a big group of people sit in meditation, things change because they're producing very high vibrations. So being in high vibrations right now, I know it's not easy because human life is not easy. Being human is not easy. I know that. I can see what's going on this planet. But please make an effort and do something that gives you joy. Do something that you love to do every day, even small things, to raise your vibrations. Because the more people realize that, the better things will become. We can shift this timeline to a much better one if more people will choose to stay in high vibrations. It's all up to the people.
I once heard that one awakened, self-empowered starseed has more manifesting power than 1 million NPCs. Is this true?
Absolutely. Yes, NPCs are empty vessels. They do not have a power. They run on programs.
But the NPCs can convince us that we are disempowered, and that is where they become a problem.
Yes, they've been doing this for thousands of years.
So if we look at the NPCs and the way they behave and we follow suit to that, that is part of the programming that keeps us basically enslaved to the system.
Yes, that's why they were created.
Interesting. How long have NPCs even been around? Just curious. Is this a new thing, or has this always been a thing, or has it become more and more common because of the shift and all the other things going on? I'm just curious how that works.
They were always present because the matrix will produce them. And they were very convincing. That's because that's the program they're running on. But now they created so many of them because they want the votes. As you know, more and more awakened people is staying away from choosing anything because they know that doesn't change anything. So they're relying on NPCs to choose the governments, to choose things. And of course, working in third world countries, making things, souls will not choose to be working
It's like
16 hours a day.
factory situations. That is more for NPCs because a human with a soul would really
There is no
thrive in a
sense in that.
situation like that.
There is pointless. It is pointless to sit and sit at a machine for 16 hours a day and then sleep and eat and do the same thing for 40 years.
We have a term for this. We call it a soul-sucking job.
Yes, because there is the soul will never choose life like that. It's pointless.
So this is how they kind of keep us ignorant of who we actually are, because they keep us in a loop of these things, of the 9 to 5, of going to, well, for some it's even working 12 to 16-hour days, of just that daily grind of trying to survive.
Yes, because then you don't have time to think about anything. You are too tired to think about who you are, why you're here. You don't have energy to ask those questions. And they don't want you to ask those questions, of course.
And it is worth noting, as someone else just said, some souls have been trapped here for so long, they're tired, they're burned out. As a veteran, I can relate to that big time.
Yes.
Where we're just fed up with being here and are really struggling with just being human.
Yes. Because the matrix is designed to be very difficult.
Yes. So you and I have talked about how you can see future scenarios a little bit. You can kind of see ahead down the road, depending on how clear things are in this current timeline. So you see from your perspective, things do get better.
Oh, yes, of course. But we have to go through some pain, birthing pain, because as some people said, the new earth is being born. So you have to go to the pain first, same like babies being born. And that's all this darkness is the pain.
Yes.
That's way is, again, I'm going to repeat myself again, to staying in high vibrations, staying sovereign is extremely important. And coming out of victim mentality. All these people watching this podcast are very powerful souls. They are here to learn, to listen, and people who asking for answers, they are ready to receive the answers. So please remember who you are. You are powerful, powerful consciousness, having this human experience for now. So stay in high vibration, and that's how you can help. And remember, if you are a new starseed, you are here, you chose to be here, and try to enjoy yourself here. This is a beautiful planet and very unique, but offers a lot of fun too. So try to find something fun to do, something that gives you joy. Don't always concentrate on the negative, on the hardship, because that's what the matrix wants you to concentrate on. They will always show you horrible news, horrible situations. They will never say anything positive because everything is designed to keep you in victim mentality. But when you start remembering who you are and embody that, then you are powerful, powerful being.
Yes, indeed. Someone just asked, do NPCs have souls that are just not yet awake? No, NPCs do not. They do not have a soul. They have a consciousness that is a collective consciousness, correct?
Yes.
So they're part of the matrix.
Yes. They created by matrix, yes.
So the 3D matrix, the artificial matrix, not the source-based matrix.
No. They 3D matrix.
So technically with the shift, we could see them disappear.
Yes, they will disappear, yes. They're already disappearing. The higher your vibration is,
they're everywhere right now. It's hard to believe that, but yes, you see, this is something that will slowly happen over time.
Yes.
Interesting. Thank you for that. Somebody just asked, who invented the Matrix, the 3D artificial one? Was that the Galactic Federation?
Yes.
I thought so. So that is a collective group of races did that. And that is due to the Earth quarantine that needed to happen after Tiamat was destroyed.
Yes, exactly.
To keep the reptiles here on Earth and to keep our egregors, our self-created forms, the ones that we were filling the astral with, also here on Earth.
Yes, because humans are like children. They create things and they don't know what to do with them.
They fill the astral. Let's say, for example, there's a horror movie that comes out, right? Yes. A horror movie with a banshee or something, right? And the next thing you know, there's all sorts of banshees popping up in the astral because people are watching the movie.
Yes.
They don't control what they manifest and what they create.
That's the problem. Humans needs to learn how to control their minds. As you know, human mind is a chaos. Things are coming and going all the time. Mm-hmm. And that's why spirit guides don't read anybody's mind. Because to dig into this nonsense is impossible. So people are surprised that the spirit guides don't read their minds. Nobody wants to do that.
Nobody wants to go in there. You can barely get a word in sometimes.
Exactly. That's why we always say, if you have very busy mind, you sit in meditation, learn to control your mind, and that's maybe then your spirit guides can connect with you. Some people are different. They have very quiet minds, and the spirit guides can talk to them.
Yes.
But most people's minds are just chaos, pure chaos. And they creating things that nobody wants. And that's why you are under quarantine, because all these forms created by humans, they need to be here. They cannot be going all over this galaxy.
Yes. So, there's just so much to unpack with this conversation because this quarantine was originally meant to help us. And I think it has. The more I learned about it and the more I understand, I don't even know if we would still be here if we were in the same frequency as the reptilians are. They probably would have eaten us all in this time.
Oh, yes.
That's what they did. They went from planet to planet just eating everybody. So the main reason that we humans are not being eaten in droves like we used to is because we are in a different frequency with these reptilians. But then at the same time, they're still able to manipulate us. They're still able to feed off of our energy.
Yes, they have to feed off something.
Yes.
So as soon as humans will create the food, they will eat it.
what is the possibility as we are working our way up in vibration, working, because they're kind of in a layer of the 4D frequency. That's where their physical reality is now. Yes?
Yes.
So as we move up in frequency, we have to pass through 4D to get to 5D, don't we? Or are we going to leapfrog over that frequency? I'm just trying to understand, because some people are curious whether or not when the quarantine is no longer in effect, are we going to be in the same frequency? Is this going to be like Orion Wars 2.0?
No.
So we're skipping that. We're basically going above their frequency.
Yes, that's the plan.
Okay. But
if somebody gets stuck in 4D, then they have to very quickly do something and move. Rise their vibrations. Some people will be stuck in 4D. They will be during the shift. They will be seeing their reptilians. They will be seeing other horrible creatures, and they will be losing their mind. And we know people already start losing their mind because they are in 4D.
So as we move up in frequency, we will be able to see them, but we may not be in the same frequency to the point where we're both physical in the same frequency.
Exactly.
Okay, got you. Because there's lots of layers. Like 4D itself has a large amount of layers. I mean, the lower astral of 4D is essentially where we go and rescue lost souls from.
Yes, exactly.
But when they cross over and they enter the light, and they go through that phase of crossing over on the earth plane, that takes them to the high 4D astral.
Yes.
So that is where the planning stages and all of the temples, the healing places are all located, is in the high version of that 4D astral.
Yes, and there is also different layers of that.
Wow. Okay.
Depending on the evolution of the human soul, because all the humans go there, right?
Yeah.
If you're a starseed, you're not going to go there after this journey. You're going back to your planet. But there's different levels of this for humans, because, for example, if somebody was I'm trying to find a word for that, very simple soul, let's say, just eating, drinking, and just on a rather early stages of evolution, and it goes to the lower levels. I don't mean the very low, horrible part of astral, but the simple first level. And if somebody is, let's say, like Gandhi, it goes to the very top level.
Interesting. That's what that nirvana is that they were explaining.
Yes, this is all based on vibrations and frequencies. Everything is all about vibrations and frequencies. So you go to different levels based on your vibrations and frequencies. Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Yes. So that's how it works.
So technically there's like 100 layers or more, all just in the one 4D layer is how I see it.
Exactly. And depending on the person vibrations and frequencies, it will go to the level that is specific for them.
Reminds me of like when you're pouring a mixed drink and you have all these drinks that are different viscosities, I guess. So you get thinner and then you work your way up to the, you know what I mean? And so, but if you drop a coin, it just goes all the way through.
Yes, exactly.
So you can technically work your way up through those different, very thin layers, depending on your frequency. So mediums, people who are psychic, not only have the gift of sight, that doesn't just mean that their third eye is open and that they're able to perceive, but also that they're perceiving a certain vibrational frequency. So that is why some people who might be a gifted medium sees low vibrational entities all the time because their vibration is low. But you have another psychic medium who doesn't even believe that entities exist because they are in a completely different frequency to those entities.
Yes, that's true.
So when the 5D shift happens, is that going to be more of a thing where there are more mediums who are able to perceive more things, but there's still going to be people who are kind of locked into that lower frequency and can really only perceive the lower vibrational stuff?
Yes, of course. It's again based on the personal vibrations and frequencies.
So the 5D shift is going to be interesting to see how people interpret that new shift, that new change.
Yes, it will be very interesting.
Has this ever happened on another planet before, or is this kind of unprecedented?
No, this is the only one.
So
And
the
that's
guys really don't even know how it's going to look because we haven't really achieved it before.
no, of course not. So that's why we're monitoring, and Metatron and his people are monitoring this because it never happened before. And we really don't know the outcome of it. And again, it's all up to humans at this point.
It is indeed. Just curious if Metatron has a message for the collective today. Anything that you could relay to us?
He's very happy with the progress.
That's very good to hear.
So many starseeds are awakening. So many people are staying sovereign. He's very happy with the progress. Yes.
Wonderful. And how are you feeling, Zach, about all of this? You know, it's one of the things that I really have enjoyed over the last year and a half is just getting to know Zach on a deeper level. And when we first started this work, you had a different personality almost. It's like you've gotten spicier, Zach, hanging out with me for the last year and a half.
Yes, I'm fighting reptilians on a daily basis.
So for a Solatian as yourself, I'm just curious, how do the other Solatians kind of look at you after you changed, spending so much time with us humans?
They're looking at sideways.
Looking at you like...
Yeah, exactly. Because as you know, Solatians are extremely peaceful race.
Yes.
And we were not planning on this at all, but because Evanon wanted to, and Evanon is a very powerful being. And Evanon is connected to Metatron, not to us. We are not connected to Evanon. Evanon was Solatian, and then he evolved, he ascended. So he is under Metatron wing, and he's on our planet to protect us because we are not warriors. We don't have anything specific to protect us. We have technology like everybody else, but because we are very important for this galaxy, we stabilizing this whole galaxy. That's our purpose. Like every galactic race has a specific purpose. So our purpose is to create specific vibrations and frequencies for this galaxy to stay in balance. So we have those very specific warriors to protect us. But those warriors are half physical and half not. They can be physical, but if they don't want to be physical, they can change the form. So that's Evanon. So he was
another form. This is the version of Adrianna that is in the pod that is being rerouted to her current body now. And it's quite a different body. I mean, Evanon is 10 foot tall, isn't he?
Yes, he's that. We are not as tall. Solatians are 7 feet tall. Evanon is 10 feet tall. He looks different than we are. Similar, but different. And again, when he decided to come here to Earth to look for his friends, we had nothing to say because his boss is Metatron. So when he decided that he's going to do this, we didn't know what to do. And we were instructed by Metatron that this is important and he will be going. So he's in a pod, in a very special pod. We taking care of his body, and he rerouted his consciousness here, but not at first the full consciousness. At first was just a tiny bit of his consciousness in this body, because the human body cannot hold the full consciousness. And then slowly, slowly, the consciousness was rerouted more and more into this body. And so when he decided to come here, because we used to be good friends when he was a Solatian, to help on this mission, we planned this all together, as you know, and you maybe remember that a little bit, that we planned this together. And that was the plan. But because he wanted to find you and find Bradley and tell you and Bradley who you really are, and you need to go home. Enough is enough. He was with you, as you know. Part of his consciousness was in Adrianna's body, and part of his consciousness was with you as your spirit guide. And he was watching what you are doing, and he was concerned. So that's why this plan was created. And the plan was changed a little bit along the way. The plan wasn't always like you think it was. The plan was fluid. So when he decided that he's coming here, he asked me to help him, because he thought it would be interesting to help humans this particular way.
It took a long time for you to even find Bradley and I. You had to develop a special type of technology that would help you locate a missing soul, someone who had died very far away from home, so to speak.
Yes, because galactic souls, like we're talking about veterans, are still carrying specific vibrations and frequencies. But without special technology, it will be looking like
a needle in a haystack.
So we had to, Solatians are very good with technology, maybe not as good as Arcturians, but close. So we developed specific technology to find you on this planet among so many people. And so many, if you will look at this planet from different perspective, like vibrations and frequencies, you will see just absolutely craziness. So that technology is essential to find somebody particular that is carrying your Taigetan. So we will be looking for Taigetan vibrations and frequencies. And because there is so many Taigetan, we would find other Taigetans. So
yes,
we couldn't find you at first because there's so many other Taigetan starseeds. So we eventually gave the technology to other races to find their own starseeds, so we can find you and Bradley. And then it was basically game of eliminations.
And when they found me, what was happening? I was dying over and over in stupid ways.
And then Evanon went to the Taigetans with us and told them to do something about this nonsense. And that was the moment when they pulled you out of your body and told you to stop this ridiculous whatever you were doing at this time.
Yeah, so, I had a bit of a death wish.
Yes, because you were very sick and tired being on this planet, and you were killed over and over again because you did not change.
No, in that last life, the one that Evanon was watching, I was black bagged and tortured to death. And that was when he was like, enough is enough. I'm done. I can't watch this anymore.
Yes. And that's when he decided that he's going down.
And you could change his mind.
And he asked me to help him on this journey. Because, of course, as human, when you are born human, no matter who you are, you can be angelic being, you still don't remember who you are. And so you need a spirit guide to help you with that. And I was not a spirit guide for Adrianna at first, but when things were changing, then I stepped in, and here we are. So there are other Solations. As you know, Bradley, you have a Solation guide right now. There's other Solations helping other people as spirit guides.
Yes, like our wonderful friend Kara, who I'll be doing the Reiki class with. Kara is also Solation. I
Yes.
knew that she was Solation before I knew Adrianna was Solation. I took one look at Kara and I was like, you are totally Solation.
Yes.
And she was. She was even wearing a blue robe when I said it. I just looked at her and I thought, yeah, you're definitely Solation. And
Yes.
sure enough.
Yes, they carry specific vibrations and frequencies, and they're very lovely, gentle souls.
Yes.
Except Evanon. Evanon is
Evanon is just spicier.
yes.
He's a warrior. Yeah, exactly. He's there to protect and defend and to, I mean, to be honest, I don't think I would still be here. I don't think I'd be alive right now if he hadn't intervened.
No, he knew that was necessary and nobody could stop him. So
well,
and
look at
yes,
the ripple effects this has created. He's not just helping Bradley and I, he's helping lots of people.
Yes. And that's why I've changed, because I've been here and I've seen the horror, what are the dark entities are doing with people. And as you know, on daily basis, we can see a horrible, horrible things. And that's why it changed me, because I was never exposed to this kind of cruelty ever before. Except Orion.
Don't even know what they're getting themselves into, do they? When they say, I'm going to go to Earth and help out, they don't realize just how dark and heavy and treacherous it can be being here and how easily you can get stuck.
Yes, yes. That's why the new Starseeds have programs downloaded for safety, not to get yourself tangled with religion, politics, and their spirit guides' job is to be aware about the karmic wheel and make sure their starseed don't get themselves tangled on the wheel of karma. Because if the new starseeds will get tangled on the wheel of karma, it will have to stay here. And nobody wants to do that. None of the new starseeds wants to do that. So their starseed, their guides focusing mainly on that subject.
Yes. Well, the future does look bright from your perspective. Yes, we just got to get through these bumpy bits.
Yes, there will be bumps on the road, but please focus on the goal. Keep your eyes on the prize, as you are saying.
Yes.
Yes, and just stay in high vibrations as much as you can, because every moment staying in high vibration, every moment of that, it's helping. And more humans understand that the quicker we go through the shift. So right now, if somebody will tell you that the shift will be in 2030, it's total nonsense, because everything is fluid and it's up to the humans at this point. We can only do so much. We can educate. We, of course, doing clearings. That's what we're doing right now, helping humans to stay sovereign. But we can clear people every day, all day. But if they don't choose to stay in high vibration and protect themselves, nothing we can do about that.
Thank you for this today, Zach, because I feel that many of us kind of needed a bit of a reminder. And I think that all these different starseeds that come here, many of them feel very isolated. They feel kind of, well, I mean, for example, you know, Earth humans are really the only ones that are born without memory. You guys retain your memories. Yeah. So here on Earth, this is one of the reasons why we have soul guides in the first place here.
Yes, but it's very different, because look at your lifetimes. Would you want to remember that? You were tortured.
I was going to say, it might not be a good thing to remember lifetimes here on Earth. On other planets where you're a fluffy bunny, it might be a nicer thing to remember. But if you come here to Earth and you end up getting burned at the stake, yeah, that usually ends up creating, because when people remember those things, what happens? People generally tend to have trauma they're working through.
Yes, they go into psychosis.
This is why you tell me to stop digging up dead bodies, right, Zach?
Yes, because that you are ready for that. Yes, but some people are not ready for that, and that sometimes those, for some reason, when they incarnate, the doors don't get closed properly, and they remember some of the lives, the horrible lives when they were tortured, horribly tortured, or they were assaulted. Um, and of course, when you look in the history of humans, human history is very, very cruel. So when this start happening and they have nightmares of that life, they go into psychosis, they go into mental institution, because they can handle that. Human mind is very, very
Delicate.
simple.
Yes.
Compared to galactic minds is very simple, and human mind cannot deal with this kind of things.
It can get
Human
scrambled,
mind,
wires crossed very easily.
yes, and is very limited. So human mind cannot handle this kind of information. Imagine like a computer hardware. Your computers are very, very simple computers. Our computers like quantum computers. And your computers is like computers from 1985.
Yes.
So you can handle that. Simply, the human mind cannot handle that. And Adriana can tell you that sometimes during sessions, when the person asks for specific informations, and the guides give the information because they think the person is ready for that. And then later we find out that the person wasn't ready for that information because it's going to psychosis.
Yes, we
We
had
have cases like
for
that. That's why some informations are no longer shared.
and we can tell generally when we tune into somebody, we can tell if they're a medium, right? If their gifts are active right now, if what they're seeing is real, or if what they're seeing is a hallucination brought on by an entity.
Yes, of course.
Or we can see if it's a self-created thought form, if it's actually you that's creating the entities in your mind.
Yes,
Because
of
going
course.
back to the quarantine issue, it's not when humans are creating things, they can create their own misery. They can create their own it's like an imaginary friend, but more the opposite, like an imaginary bully in our own mind. And that bully can control what we see, what we hear, and that's self-created. Like we can lose sovereignty just through our own thought forms, which blew my mind.
Yes, only humans can do that.
So we can create our own mental health problems through belief, through programming, through confusion brought on by entities. So you do see quite often what we call entity-induced psychosis. This is when a prolonged entity attachment has created a great deal of confusion in someone's mind. So that way, when you remove the entity, they're still not having coherent thoughts.
Yes, they're creating their own worst enemy.
So the entities can do that. They can actually not only create confusion and mental health problems, but they can prolong those mental health problems through the negative programming that they do to people.
Yes, absolutely.
And we see this quite often. We see probably what percentage of our clearings would you say are dealing with actual psychosis, though, like that are not dealing with entities?
30.
So about 30%. Okay. And we don't recognize this until we usually go in for a recheck, right? Because sometimes they have so much going on. Like, let's say they have all these entities that are taking advantage of their weakened mental state. And they could have a lot of attachments, a lot of implants, a lot of cords and dark magic and past life trauma and all of that. But once we clear all that away, and things don't get better, we go in for a recheck to see why it didn't get better. And the most common thing we find is a great number of thought forms that came back.
Yes, because human cannot control their minds. That's the problem. They cannot control their minds, their emotions.
And you know what else is interesting too? Zach and I have also been learning quite a lot about how human brain chemistry works this way.
Yes.
Because your brain chemistry can also have an effect on this, can't it? So if you're having, let's say, for example, endocrine issues where somebody's out of balance with their hormones,
Yes,
this can cause a lot of problems.
yes, hormonal imbalance can create psychosis.
We found that leaky gut can also do that because they're bringing parasites into, it's crossing that barrier.
Yes,
And the
parasites can go through your blood. They can go into brain, and that's scientific. We just studied that. We had to study humans before we start this job. I had to study human body, so I had to learn all about it, and I learned that the parasites can be in the human brain.
Yes, we've also even found out about B vitamins. Severely lacking B vitamins and magnesium in the body can even create psychosis because the lack of B12, your brain isn't healthy. Your brain is not being nourished. And if your brain is starving, it can also start to deal with that.
Yes, vitamin B12 is extremely essential for human body, for the human brain, for the health of human brain. And very often, and it's very difficult to obtain the vitamin B12 from food. And some food, they actually put the vitamin B12 in it, but there's not enough because the food right now is mass produced and is heavily processed food. People don't eat any more fresh food, and the brain is starving. Sometimes we find that the person is in a kind of decent shape, but the brain is starving. It's not like the person look like is being in concentration.
Yeah, exactly, because the person could be eating enough calories to look healthy.
Yes,
but if they're eating empty calories.
Yes, and the brain is absolutely starving because there is no vitamins, minerals. Vitamin B12 is gone, and then there is enough material even to Google it that people are in mental institutions, are locked in mental institutions because they didn't have vitamin B12. And there was a scientist who actually started researching that and will start giving those people vitamin B12. And many of them recovered. So it wasn't entities, it wasn't anything else, but simply vitamin B12.
So for people who are curious about this, you can the guides often recommend getting a liquid B12 complex, right? So you get all the B vitamins in there, and to take that by liquid form, so it's best absorbed, and to take that in the morning. Yes, recommended doses.
Vitamin B12 or all the Bs together should be taken in the morning because they will give you energy. So you don't want to take them at night because you're going to be kind of wired and you need to sleep at night. So at night, people should take magnesium. Of course, recommended doses.
I take 1,000 milligrams of magnesium every night.
Magnesium, you cannot overdose magnesium. You can't overdose B12. So I always recommend read the labels. But magnesium is a very safe mineral to take, and especially helps with the nervous system. Is extremely important for the heart health, brain health, and nervous system. So that's why people sleep always really nicely when they take magnesium before bed. I'm sure some people, maybe the older generation, remember when the parents were telling them to have warm glass of milk before bed because milk have magnesium in it, not just calcium, but magnesium as well.
Wonderful.
Not the milk right now. The milk right now is a different story.
And to clarify, they're talking about magnesium glycinate, yes?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you very much for that. So that is one of the most important things that you can do for body health, is to make sure that your body is getting the food it requires. Your brain is getting the hydration and nutrients that it needs. And this is an important part of regular mental health protection.
Yes. And there were studies done that we actually extensively studied that. about depression, that yes, a lot of cases is it's because of the reptilians or the dark entities, demonics, or so on. But this is lately has been epidemic. Like in last 25 years, is epidemic that even children have depression. And in yes, in many cases, is because of dark entities, but in many cases, is lack of nutrition. Because right now the children eating only carbohydrates. They eat pizzas, they eat pastas, they eat.
Don't get me started on it, Zach. I have to literally like cook down the vegetables, blend them into a sauce, and then he'll eat them. It drives me insane.
But that's why so many people are in the depression, because the brain is lacking nutrients. Yeah. And the same hormone imbalance is also contributing to that.
Yes. Well, thank you very much for this advice, Zach. That's one of the things I wanted to make sure that because you could put this in every report. I've every time we do a psychic surgery, I say, how is their magnesium and B12 levels? And Zach says, needs improvement every time. Just like their hydration, right? Nobody's ever really hydrated enough.
Yes. Yes. It's very sad to see what is done to human food. And it's by design, of course, to make everybody sick, make everybody have depression and not feel well, because then you're relying on the system. But yes, as soon as you get healthy and your brain works very well, you are aware what's going on, you are exiting the matrix. And of course, they don't want that. So this is being in power. Being healthy and having healthy brain is very powerful at this moment.
Yes. Thank you very much, Zach, for these reminders. It's very important to be taking care of ourselves, mind, body, and spirit, right?
Yes, absolutely. It has to be balanced in everything. Again, balance have to be in everything.
Thank you. One final question. When it comes to these full detail, because Adrianna is fully booked for the next 3 months. You guys may notice that if you look at her website today, you aren't able to book. That is because she has maxed out. Her scheduler only allows her to book 3 months ahead. And she's very much booked. But as an alternative, you can book a clearing as what we call a full detailed clearing. You and I do those a lot, don't we, Zach?
Yes, we do that a lot.
What is a question that the guides will never answer? One question not to put on your questionnaire for those reports, just to, because there are certain questions that the guides do not like answering. And I'm just curious, which ones are your least favorite? Or the ones that you refuse to answer?
If somebody asks what exactly they should do.
So the guides will never tell you what to do?
No.
So what should I do about selling my house or finding a new job? They won't answer those questions.
No. Because you have free will here and you can do whatever you want. And they will always tell you, listen to your intuition. You remember your plan. You make a plan before this incarnation. It's a very big, important plan for your soul growth. So, of course, not everything is in the plan, but the most important things in your life, your parents, your spouses, your children, your career, and your awakening is all there. So always ask your intuition. If you want to sell your house, you want to move somewhere else, how you feel about that?
Yeah, they'll just ask you, how do you feel about that? They also won't tell you if who cursed you either. We've seen that a few times. Yeah, they'll ask who cursed me, who put the spell on me, that stuff. You guys won't answer that either, because that just perpetuates the curses. If you find out who cursed you, you'll go and curse them.
Yes, and that's not why you need the clearing.
Sarah says you probably won't. You can't ask for the winning lottery numbers. I've tried, haven't I, Zach?
Yes.
I've already asked that question. No, they can't. Any good stock tips, Zach?
If you plan yourself to win lottery, you will win lottery, and you will remember the numbers. Trust me. If you didn't plan this, you will not win.
We have had that come up, haven't we? In a detailed session, people have asked, "Will I ever win the lottery?" And the guys are like, "Oh no." That's another question they don't like to answer. Future questions.
So yes, they will never answer what you're supposed to do.
But you can ask, who are my soul guides? Why do I have a connection to this or that? You can ask about even certain things that have happened to you. You can ask, like, why did this particular experience happen? What was I meant to learn from this?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Or
you can ask about your relationships with other people to a degree. Ask if it's karmic.
Yes, absolutely. Because sometimes the person know there is very negative relationship, is toxic relationship, but they don't have courage to leave this relationship because they were programmed. Because please remember, it's all about programming from generations to generation. For example, that you need to be in marriage no matter what. That doesn't matter if your husband was beating you or treating you like garbage. You need to stand next to him because it's a programming, it's religious programming. So that generational trauma. And so maybe they will get courage to leave this horrible relationship if the guides decided to tell them this is karmic relationship and you don't have to tolerate this anymore. Stand in your power. Remember who you are. Remember you are powerful consciousness, and you do not tolerate any disrespect and anybody treating you badly. That's not why you're here.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. A very important reminder right now, especially because there's so many. How often do we get asked, at least once a week, is this person my twin flame? And even though I can't see your eyes, Zach, I can tell you roll them. Whenever I ask that question. You don't have to tell me. You can see it, and Zach is like, oh, no. That's a loaded question, isn't it? Is this person my twin flame? And what is the answer always?
No.
No. Twin flames do not exist.
No.
Everybody is technically your twin flame, though, Con, if you think about it. Of course. Because you're source, I'm source, everybody is source. So technically, you're my twin flame, Zach.
Yes, this is very frustrating. I'm on a mission to find out who come up with this nonsense. And I'm trying to find out who came up with this term and this nonsense. And it's all I think it's all for monetary gain, because everybody wants to know, especially young people, they always asking about, will I get married? Will I have children? That was always in the history of Earth. People were always asking about love life, right?
Yes.
So somebody came up with this nonsense, probably to make money of this, and it will tell people, yes, of course, your twin flame is waiting just around the corner.
And it's always such an abusive relationship. If it was a nice thing where you get along all the time, that would be a cute thing to say, but it's not. It's horrible to say that someone who's abusing you is you in another form, and that's why they're abusing you. And there's all this, oh, well, they're a narcissist and you're an empath, and that also creates this and that. But really, it's just disempowerment. You're trying to heal the disempowerment from one soul who is trying to control another.
Yes.
And most of them are karmic. Almost every time it's a karmic relationship. When we think of it as a twin flame relationship, it's actually karmic.
It's very heavily karmic, yes. Because you meet and it's like a flame. You meet two people meet and it's like a big flame. Maybe the term came from that, because it's like a big spark and
explosion, more like it.
Exactly. Because you knew this person. You knew this person, and it sounds familiar. It feels like home, but it's not positive.
Yes. Well, thank you for clearing that up so people don't waste their questions. You got to word your questions very specifically for these full detail. The more
Yes.
specific you are, the better, because otherwise you might not get the answer you're hoping for. Especially if you're asking, what should I do questions.
Yes, that's up to you. You have free will here, and you are here to experience. You have a choice, and everybody's here to experience different things and have experience as a human in this human body.
Thank you, Zach. Thank you so much for this conversation today. It's always so enlightening to be able to ask these questions. And I also want to thank you guys for the clearing today. Have we already completed that? Yes, everybody watching received a clearing that wanted one?
Yes, I hope they can feel it.
Yes. Anybody else been feeling a difference since Zach came in? Feel free to share in the comments. We do love to hear how people are feeling after a clearing. To be clear about that, though, Zach, you only come and collect the entities, right? You don't get rid of the parasites and the dark patches and all the other stuff, right? You just come and collect the beasties.
Yes.
But for that, people already feel massively better.
Yes, because if somebody have 3 demonics attached to them, they will feel the difference, of course.
Yes, I imagine they will.
Or very aggressive earthbounds, we collect them too, of course.
Yes. So thank you for grabbing the earthbounds as well and helping them to cross over.
Yes.
Somebody said, why can't we ask our soul purpose? You can ask your soul purpose. You can ask why you're here on Earth or what your life purpose or plan is. Yeah, you can ask those questions.
Absolutely. That's very important questions.
Yeah. Yes. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for today, Zach. It's already been 2.5 hours. I didn't mean to go this long today, but this has been such a fun conversation. We kept it going. So I look forward to seeing you for beastie chasing this evening.
Yes. I will see you later.
Thank you, Zach, and many thanks to all of our Solatian friends. It was so wonderful having you all here today.
Yes. Thank you very much for watching the podcast. It was my pleasure to be here, and I will see you later.
See you in a bit. Thank you, Zach.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye. Yes, you can watch the recording and still get a clearing. So if you restart this, you'll get a clearing as well. Hi, honey. Welcome back.
Hello.
Were you listening or did you take a nap?
Half.
I heard something was exciting Henry in the background. I was hoping it wouldn't distract you. You can
heard? Oh, I didn't hear that. I was
very light. It was very light in the background, so it's fine.
Yes, there is somebody outside here. And Henry and Gigi are in the other room, but it's not that far from here, so you probably heard them. Yes.
Yes. Thank you so much for this conversation today. We ran a little bit longer than I intended to. So just thank you so much for your time on your day off. I really, really appreciate it. And thank you to all of our wonderful Solatian friends and to Metatron as well. We really appreciate all the help that we're getting down here because we need it, don't we?
Yes.
We've got our work cut out for us. So I was just explaining to everybody, you are booked out for the next 3 months. In fact, your scheduler maxes you out at 3 months, doesn't it? It doesn't even allow people to book. So if you wait a week and come back to her site, you'll be able to see there will be bookings popping up. But that's the reason why, is her scheduler doesn't book more than 3 months ahead. So keep checking your website if you would like. Otherwise, you can always book a clearing with me and request a specific medium. If there is a specific medium that you would prefer, you can book a clearing with me. You can book a full detailed one. That's the one that is half clearing, half Akashic record session. And then if you request Adrianna as your particular medium for the clearing, I will make sure she's the one that does your clearings and your questions. So you can book any Akashic record session through this, and it's only a 2-week wait versus 3 months.
Yeah. And or you can on my website, if you go to Spirit Release Therapy, you can book clearing and the full detail with me as well. So that's not a problem. That is available.
It's a secret loophole to get a clearing faster. When you book through Adrianna, technically her list is a lot shorter than mine. So yeah, technically booking through Adrianna, you don't have to wait as long. Usually your wait is only about a week, isn't it?
Yes, it's 1 week for now. So
yes. So if you want to book a little bit faster, yes, you could also book through Adrianna, and then she will be guaranteed to be the one doing the clearing for you. Because I have 6 different mediums that I work with, that I do clearings with, and each one is talented in different ways, and have different guides that do the clearings in a different way. So you might notice that sometimes the numbers are different. For example, if Adrianna does a clearing, she might have a different proximity of clear. So some people might be getting more or less depending on how big the area is that they're clearing. Because the guides all work differently, don't they?
Yes, every guide works differently. Yes, the Scarnet guides work differently. Yeshua works differently.
Yes, so they all have their own way of doing clearings and raising the vibration of the space and doing the healing work that they do. And this is another reason why they give such different answers. You could ask the same question to all 6 different mediums, and the guides will all give you a different interpretation of that answer.
Yes, and they have different perspective.
Yes.
Yes. Because if you are a new starseed and you ask the Scarnet guide about galactic history, I don't think they will be able to tell you that.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's just different perspective.
Yes. So that's why sometimes if you guys book a certain, like for example, it's funny, certain guides don't like to answer other questions. Like if I see that there is a full detailed case that came through, and one of the questions is, what is the name of my soul guide? I know that there's about 3 different mediums who don't like answering that question. So I save that for one of the mediums that do like answering that question. So I have to be kind of choosy as to who does what clearing. And I think that's part of what makes us such a wonderful group, is that, it depends on the focus and what they're going through and what their questions and interests is.
Yes.
So yes, if you have an Akashic record style question, then it'll be likely that Adrianna or Brett will do the clearing, as they both do Akashic record sessions. Wonderful. Somebody just said, if I'm house sitting a few streets over from my address, when you do SRT, will it still work? Yes, they find your energy signature. They tune into your energy. So depending, you don't even have to be at your house. You could be at work. You're still going to receive the clearing. And not only that, they can tell where your home is because there are cards. So even if you're not at home, your home will still be cleared.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, so they clear you and your inside part of the house. They don't check the outside part of the house unless they book a property clearing as well. Yes. So I hope that helps you guys understand a little bit more about, somebody just said, can't I just ask Yeshua for a clearing instead of paying you guys? Yeah, you can do that. You won't get the information as to what was cleared. Yeshua is not going to come in and give you a full detailed report. You can always call anybody you want to be asked to re-clear. This is why we talk about self-clearing so much, isn't it? Yes, we actually prefer that people do that. This is one of the things that I said to a client the other day. Whenever there's an emergency situation, I don't want your first thought to be, I'm going straight to Laura. I need Laura. Your first initial thought when there's an emergency needs to be, how can I clear my space? How can I clear myself? How can I empower myself? You go straight for the sage and the sea salts and the high vibrational things to raise the vibration of yourself and your space, instead of expecting somebody else to rush in and do it for you.
And always on the end of the report, there's aftercare. And there is always a big chunk about psychic protection. Yes. What you need to do, how to do it, and all this.
Yes. So you can actually self-clear by calling in your guides and asking them to clear you. This is something that's very important to do. People should be doing this almost daily, right? But the problem is when the entities have longer to attach, it makes it harder to get them off of you.
Yes. And I believe that, if you need to ask very specific for implants and curses and the contracts.
You just say, Yeshua, clear me. He'll be like, clear you of what?
Yeah.
So you have to go through the full protocol even and ask, hey, can you clear entities? Hey, can you clear implants? Can you clear parasites? Can you clear spells, curses, contracts, vows, sigils, all of those things that we go through? We have like 30-point clearing that we go through.
Yes, very detailed clearing, yes.
So yes, you can do self-clearings. In fact, I will be teaching how to do self-clearings where we do prefer people to try and clear themselves first. And if it doesn't work, then you come to us.
Yes, you have those courses. I know you have those courses.
Yes.
People can learn from.
So we're trying to teach self-empowerment, and the people that are able to take care of themselves in this regard, it allows us to be able to help other people.
Exactly.
So we prefer to focus on the people who are not able to take care of themselves, who are not in a position to get the monkeys off their back. Those would be the ones that we would prefer to focus on rather than clearing the same people over and over and over again.
Yeah. No, we prefer to clear you once and then you stay sovereign, because then it means you staying in high vibration, and then you can help with the shift and being sovereign, healthy, and doing something that you love to do. It's helping with the shift. So no, we don't want to clear you every month.
We do not want repeat customers. This is something that a lot of people need to understand. The more you empower yourself, the more we can focus on people who are disempowered.
Yes, we have enough emergency cases every day. So, and those are very difficult cases. So if somebody can do it, themselves, that's better, because then they learn how to do it. They can tell other people how to do it, and it's a ripple effect. The more people stay sovereign, the better it is.
Yes, thank you. And also, as somebody mentioned, you need to make sure that they are actually who they are. I mean, they say they are. If you calling in Yeshua, you need to make sure that's actually Yeshua that's coming in, because otherwise it could be an imposter pretending to be Yeshua. We see this a lot, don't we?
Unfortunately, that's the case.
So another reason why we are so particular and why there's so many passwords and why we constantly check each other when something feels off, just to make sure that we are staying sovereign and protected and shielded, and make sure that no riffraff is getting in.
Yes.
So anyway, thank you so much for this time, Adrianna. Really, I know you're so busy, and we really appreciate all. You've given so many wonderful explanations today and helped a lot of people understand this on a deeper level. So thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, you're very, very welcome. I'm very happy that people resonate with this knowledge. And I'm very, very happy to be here on the podcast and seeing so many wonderful people listening to it. So I don't know how many people listen today to this podcast.
We had 440 people at our max, and we still have 300 watching. So you've been very entertaining today.
Oh, wonderful.
Adrianna is always our most popular guest, and it's because you're just so fascinating. So I can't wait until we have this book published, so we'll be able to tell everybody about our stuff from a deeper level. It'll be fun.
Yes, that'll be great. Yes, it'll be fascinating, because the stories that we can see in Akashic records are absolutely fascinating. Yes,
it really is. Well, I'm excited to talk to Sue on Thursday too. Sue will be able to tell us a little bit about your Akashic Records reading with her, I imagine. A little bit about her galactic history. All this stuff is so much fun to discuss. So thank you very much for everything, everybody. Thank you for asking such good questions.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Lots of love, everybody. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.